feels like the time is really flying by, and it feels like it don't matter what we do, we are never prepared enough. For the past few days, we have been, putting a lot of work into the things that we have to do. We are almost at that time of the year that everything has to stop because we have to go moose hunting. And moose hunting for us in here is from September 1st to September 15th. Now we have 15 days, honestly, to put as much effort as we can to provide for the meat for the entire year. Now, with that being said, we have also have to prepare everything because September is the month of it. Once September passes, winter is here. We don't have a window of, doing a lot of things, with plenty of time and whatnot. No, we have to put everything into that small window. So because we have essentially half a month that we have to put into hunting, well, the remaining 15 days is go time. Now, during the remaining 15 days of September, essentially what we do, especially here in our homestead, is we harvest whatever we need to harvest. Essentially is mainly the potatoes. So the potatoes, we try to leave it in the ground as long as possible so they can grow as much as possible. But we have harvested pretty much, everything else, honestly. The only thing that I have in the ground right now is carrots and potatoes. Everything else, the strawberries are, believe it or not, full of flowers and full of strawberries. Still green, but full of strawberries. The tomatoes, had been picking it up here and there. We didn't have a lot of big tomatoes, like yay big, like nothing out of the ordinary. Essentially, Alaska tomatoes. I'm just gonna put it that way. Cauliflowers, we had a whole bunch. Real big, nice head of cauliflowers. Real nice. Broccoli, fairly okay. We got quite a few. I'm not gonna complain. The cabbages suck this year. They really did suck. I mean, I don't think I even have a single head of cabbage yay big at all. It just didn't do it well. The onions, we already picked everything up. We already dried them and whatnot. We have been using it now for, consumption. So pretty much we are really good in that area. The things that you guys don't see and I don't put in the videos is the other things that we do in the background, meaning that we have 2 wood stoves that we had to clean. We have 2 toyos that we had to service, and we have 2 holding tanks for the toyos that we had to fill. The holding tanks for the toyos are not full yet. We do have the oil or the fuel oil in storage, but we haven't filled them yet. We just run out of time. We have been fighting with the fact that one of our wood stacks, the pipe, was, I'm not going to say dirty, but it had a 2nd degree creosote in it. And those are a little hard to remove than the first one. The first ones are the fluffy one. The other ones are the flaky ones. So it was a little hard to remove. And I tried to do it with a drill, which I had done it in the past. But this time around, I changed the brush to a metal brush to remove it better because of that type of creosote. And I don't know what happened, but the rods, fiberglass, the moment that I put it in and I started the drill, bap, pop. I popped 3 rods. And now it was like, what the heck is going on here? So we have to go and buy new rods, and I essentially have to do it the old-fashioned way. I do it from the bottom up. I put a bag in there, I punch a hole, and then I put my rod, and then it's attached to the fleet, and just up and down, and everything falls in there. It is a hot mess. Yeah, it is a really hot mess. You get all of that stuff on you. It smells like a burned barbecue. That's what it smells like. And you have to do it not only once, but we had to do it twice. So, because we have 2 wood stoves. And that's not a bad thing. It's a really good thing that we have backup for the backup for the backup. But the thing is that you have to take care of all of those things. And it's time consuming. We also fill up the holding tank. I like to top it off as much as I can at the very end of the season. Because during winter time, I don't have the time or the ability to go in there and make sure that it is full. So because I have a stick that I put in there. Yes, just a stick that I put through there that I have little marks on it. But when there's a lot of snow on the ground, you don't get to go in there as often. And if you do, you got to shovel a lot of snow. So another thing. So we have been really busy. We have been discussing also whether or not we're going to be doing the hunt with the RV or with the tent. And I talked to Dee and Laz, and we put it to a family vote. And I said, listen, we have pros and cons and everything. And we have to figure out how we're going to do this. The weather has been shitty. Really, really ugly, disgusting, really bad for the past 2.5 weeks. Really bad. It has not stopped raining. Not real hard rain, but tiny droplets that gets everywhere, and it gets everything wet. In fact, I needed to do some piers, some cement block piers, and I was, struggling to get those things done because the weather is so bad. In fact, I have 3 right now. It's still on the thing, on the wood and whatnot, that I won't be able to remove probably until winter ends, because that's just the way it is. And praying that it won't crack. I'm praying that it will dry enough for winter. So yeah, we have been debating whether or not we're going to be using the RV or just a tent. And Dee and Laz both were like, I think we should take the RV. We can just take one machine then. It will be just one ATV. And I said, well, we're going to have to get creative because I have to take the meat wagon in order to haul a moose. If I get lucky enough to get a moose. You never know. You never know. We might just go and, just do the trails and whatnot and just enjoy. And no moose. But if we get a moose, we need to have something to bring it back. And that also brought me to the fact that I need to change the valve on the meat wagon. Meat wagon is nothing more than a plastic little trailer. We just call it meat wagons. And I bought this tool that I had not used yet to replace those valves. So I'm going to be having those tires inside the prepper shed in a little bit. I got to take it out and remove those valves and replace the valves because I had left the little trailer, the meat trailer, outside, and the valves are cracked. So it's like, oh my God, one more thing. So a lot of little things we have to do. And the sense of urgency is in the air. Along with all the things that we have to do here in the homestead to get ready for winter, we have everything going on in the world. And it has been quiet for a few days, which worries me. It worries me so because it's like, the calm before the storm. And a lot of people fail to realize that. The calm before the storm is the worst part because you don't know how it's going to come. And you have to be ready for anything and everything. It's like mind-boggling, to tell you the truth. It's like when a hurricane comes, you know it's coming. You don't know what type of damage is going to happen, but you know it's coming. So that's the way that I have been feeling lately. But nonetheless, let me also touch on the fact that I actually purchased even more 22 ammo. This one is specifically to use with a shusher. And I tested it out with a non-shusher and with the shusher ammo. And even Dee was like, oh, it's like a movie. And I say, yes, this subsonic CCI, and they work wonderful. So I'm going to be taking those to the hunt because, there are birds and the rabbits and whatnot, and small game is open all year long. So why not take advantage of it, right? I'm already there, so might as well. Let me touch on the firearms that we're going to be taking with us. A lot of people tend to ask this type of questions. Billy, what do you use over there for moose hunting? What do you use for small game? So I'm going to give you my honest opinion. I am a huge fan of these tools. I really am. I shoot them every week, especially now that I'm retired. Every single week. Sometimes even twice a week, if I can. And the budget allows. You know how it is. But the tools that I use mostly for hunting are 22 and 308. Those are the two that I use the most. I have been using this one. This is a Ruger 308. I have been using it since the very beginning of the year. Testing it. I started using it during winter. Yes, during winter. I went several times in December. I went in January. I went in February. I went in March. Like I said, I go every week. And I have been using it, snow, rain, dry, wet, and it has been performing really well. What it has most shine, this one, is in the accuracy. I was extremely surprised by how accurate it is. Extremely surprised, which is a good thing. The bad things about it is, well, because it's so light, the recoil is a little heavier. Now the 308 has a lot of recoil, but let's be honest, it does kick a little bit harder because it's so light. I don't have a threaded adapter right now for my shusher. I do have a muzzle breaker, which it does help with the kick, but it makes it really loud. It is very loud, so keep that in mind. I did change the charging handle for an ambidextrous one, and it's a lot easier. You do get to adjust the gas system. It has 1, 2, and 3. I currently have it in 2 right now. It's working excellent. There is a 200 round braking period that you have to use it in 3, and then you push it down to 2. You can put it in 1 if you have a shusher on. Again, I do not have a shusher on because I want to keep it nice and simple. It has a 2-stage trigger. Really nice, believe it or not. Now, that is for moose. A lot of people say, you need something bigger for a moose. You do not. You do not need something bigger for a moose. Any 30 caliber will do it for a moose or for a caribou. Guys, why do I say this? Because our last moose was taken down. D was shooting at 30.06 and I was shooting my A1A at 308. So that's all I'm going to say about that. The other thing is I changed, I did a couple of things on this 22. This is a Ruger 1022. I changed the barrel, and I got to tell you that the barrel and the stock, I got to tell you, ever since I changed the barrel, the accuracy was really good. The accuracy went beyond good, to the point that those barrels, they usually cost $280. They were 35% off. I think I paid $180 for it, so it was a significant savings. I told D, I was like, I need another barrel because I felt in love with it, so good. So I ordered a second one just to keep away. Maybe I put another 1022 together just to have it. But these are the 2 that I will be taking with me. D is not going to take a rifle. Last is not going to be taking a rifle because we just have one machine and I have 2 spaces in that machine. Meaning that we have 3 tags. We have 3 tags because Last now is old enough to get his own tag. 3 tags and I will be happy with just 1 moose. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to get here and say, I can harvest 3 moose. Listen, there are huge animals. In the best of day, perfect weather, it will take you several hours to process that animal. Imagine now if you get 2. Now, it will be a blessing, don't get me wrong, but it will take you days. The weather that we're having suck right now. Really suck. And the problem with that weather suck and the weather changing and everything, the leaves are falling, allergies have been kicking our butts really bad. Me and Les. So now imagine being up there, wet, cold, allergy, boogies, eyes crying. It's just really bad. Now, for those of you who are going to ask me what type of ammo I use for the 308, this is the one that I use. I know a lot of people use something else. This is an empty box, by the way. Nothing in here. This is what I use. And I've been using it now for several years, especially here. and they have worked really, really good for me. For me. Now you have to do you, and you have to do whatever, whatever's right for you. For us, that's it. And I'm sticking with it because it sure work. The other thing that I want to mention for big hunts like this, you really have to prepare a little bit more than usual. Yes, I am taking my bag. Everything is in there. Yes, I have an extra magazine for this one in here. I do have to take an extra knife, just to remove the skin and whatnot. It's really tough. Think about the bristles in your broom. And that's how moose hair is. And it really gets everywhere. It really does. So you have to be really careful. I am bringing my binoculars, my big binoculars, just to glass around. I also bring a rangefinder because I really need to know how far away it is. It is deceiving sometimes. And although I have an extra magazine in that bag, I always bring 2 loaded magazines that I will leave in the camp. I have one in the tool and one in the bag. That's more than enough. More than enough. But just in case, I was going to bring 2 more magazines, just in case. And of course, the 1022 magazines are in there. And what I do, because this is how much I paid for it. I did not pay as much as I thought I was going to pay. $33. $33.99. And because this one comes in milk cotton. And I have to remove them from here. What I have done is I save 2 of the empty ones that I have for the other ones, and I'm just gonna put it in here. That way, they're easy to handle, and I can toss this in one of the pockets that the ATV has. Good stuff. Another thing that I have to mention is we don't longer have 24/7 daylight, so we now have to bring our headlamps. Last time that we harvested a moose, it was in the afternoon. It got dark on us. We finished with frost on the ground, and we finished with our headlamps. So we bring in 2. In fact, I'm charging that one that I show you, and I have another one in there that is charging. Oh, it should finish charging. So it is on the charger right now, and it just did finish charging. So we bring in the headlamps, we bring in the little other lamps that I have in there, the ones that I showed you before, the ones that you can put in your pocket and whatnot. But you have to bring all of those things along with game bags, extra blades for the knives. I don't use a regular knife. The knife that I use is the one that you interchange the blades. It just makes sense for me. But you see how many things I'm mentioning, how many things I still have to finish in such a little time, because we really don't have a lot of time. Now, those of you who live in the low 48s or live in the southern area, you may not have to worry about none of this. But for us who live in the north, and for us who depend on hunting, because let's face it, if we're gonna just depend on the grocery store, we're gonna be screwed. So we have to put in the time as much as we can to go and harvest an animal. Now, of all of those things that I mentioned, all of the things that we have to do, we still have to prepare the RV and whatnot. We still have to put the water, bring extra propane because it's getting cold. It's getting cold at night. I would say it's not freezing yet, but it is getting really cold and wet and whatnot. So all of that has to be done. We have to keep in consideration that the shoe can drop any day, because the way I see it is, it's the calm before the storm, and when the storm comes, it's just gonna take everything. So I have that sense of urgency in the back of my head, and I really do hope that all of you have it too, because it better be ready than be sorry. And it worries me, because when people feel that, oh, nothing will happen, everything is fine, we're going back to normal, it's when things happen. It's when people stop preparing when things happen. And that's what worries me. One of the things that D and I talked about this year is I actually reach out to Opus to see whether or not they will deliver to Alaska. I need to talk to Rudy, Mr. Alaska Prepper, to see what the process is, because we definitely want to invest this year in a massive system for our home, just in case. We just don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you, you do nothing, and I'm not a financial advisor, but you do absolutely nothing with money in the bank and struggling at home. I'd rather, like I told D the other day, I'd rather have the things that we need in case if something happens, to have a smooth transition to whatever is going to take us. And let me put it like this. Having electricity makes a big impact in our life. I don't want to be without electricity. I live some of my life without electricity. Once I knew, those good things that it brings, I just don't want to give it up. I'm going to be honest with y'all. A lot of people say, well, electricity it's just bad. You can live without it. You can live without it. You will struggle without it too. I don't want to be without those things. Let's be honest. I don't want to watch clothes by hand. I have a really small washing machine, really small, that I put it in my counter, but I want to use it. It makes my life easier. It really does. I want to have a water heater that I can use, because taking showers or bath with cold water suck. It really suck. I want to have running water within my house, in my system. I don't have city water or anything like that, but my system, I wanted to run it, be able to run it. I wanted to have lights in order so I can make videos and whatnot and communicate with y'all. So you see what I'm saying? So if you have the ability, why not do it right now? Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just sharing with y'all what we are fixing to do. And we are going to get a big system. I told D, I was like, I don't want a small one. I want a big one. I want the one with the extra batteries, with the solar panels. I already have a place that I bought to put the solar panels in there. I know. I'm not going to have a lot of sun during winter, but during summer, I will. If I had to store my small generator to charge those batteries and the extra batteries that I've wanted to get, by all means. Do you need it? You do not need that system. Let's be honest. I show you all how to do a very simple system that is going to cost you way less. But I want something plug and play, because it's not just me. I have to consider my family. I have to consider that I have a 10-year-old boy. He's not a grown man yet. And my wife is challenged when it comes to technology. She really is. She can psychoanalyze you and tell you what's wrong with you mentally. I mean, she has a master's degree in psychology. She can run finances. She has a master's degree in economics. But when it comes to technology, she's challenged. So we have to do something else. Very simple. Plug and play. Press a button and that's it. So you see, we have all those things that we're just sharing with you all right now that we have to take care of, and that we see the time is running away from us, that we see that the urgency is in the air. I really want to get everything done before November. I really do. There's in my mind, after that time, after everything comes and everybody goes in and do whatever they have to do, if we get to do it, I think the following months will be it. I think if you're not prepared by then, you will suffer. That's what I think. I really do hope to be wrong. I really do hope to be wrong. And I am sorry that this video extended to over 25 minutes, almost 30 minutes. I just want to give you guys an update on the things that we are doing, the things that we're fixing to do, and the things that we have in the back of our mind that is actually quite important, at least for us. So with that being said, I hope you have a great one. And like always, rock on, prep on, and we shall see you on the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.